All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Wednesday afternoon. This is not a replay. This is not a clip. We are live and direct. CP the franchise here. We got Trilogy on the other side, man, getting you through the dog days of the offseason. On today's show, we are going to grade the Knicks offseason so far. Most of the moves are in, and we're going to get to Trilogy's opinion on how the Knicks fare this offseason, plus some tidbits on the Knicks assistant coaching search, where they might go with that last vet minimum contract, and then we'll shoot the breeze on a little offseason stuff as well, man. So salute to everybody in the chat. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Good to be back, man. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. All right. Trilogy, how we doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. It's good to see you. I did get to see you briefly out in Vegas.
Yes.
Got to dap you up. That was good to see you. Yeah, man, just taking in the dog days while they're here. Obviously, the season will come sooner than we all realize. I think we're, 2 months away from camp? So
Yeah.
it's right there, man. Grind don't stop.
The grind does not stop, man. So very much so looking forward to that. But let's get into you're taking The Athletic, grading this Knicks offseason. You graded the Knicks offseason a B+. And I agree with you there. So let's kind of take these step by step, man. Let's start with the free agent signings of Jordan Clarkson and Gershon Yabusele.
Yeah, I think what really took it over the top for me is I went into this offseason believing the Knicks could probably get one legitimate rotation piece. They obviously were limited financially with what they could do, but the fact that they kind of stumbled into Jordan Clarkson on the buyout market, well, he got bought out and then they got him for a vet minimum. I thought that was a huge win and very, very beneficial for the Knicks. They were able to add two legitimate rotation pieces at a cheap cost. And given their financial situation, which you know about, everybody listening to this knows about, that's a pretty big deal. They added some legitimate depth. So I thought automatically that was a positive in my book. You get to now we're going to find out if changing the coach was a positive or not, right? We can't really tell that until games get played. And then they got Mikal Bridges locked down. I'm sure for some people that's a win. For some people they're not all the way there yet. But I mean, they got him for less than the max he could sign for. He's a good NBA player, brings value on both sides of the ball. So I thought the Knicks had a very good offseason for sure. Have had a very good offseason so far.
Yeah, I'm with you, and especially when it comes to getting Clarkson and Yabusele. When you look at what most guys went for on the free agent market, Knicks are fortunate to get Jordan Clarkson into their lap for that vet minimum, because obviously he was on the contract with the Utah Jazz, and some of the guys who are on my radar, let's say the Kennard, right?
Yeah,
Luke Kennard, he goes to the Hawks for $10 million. You know, Gary Trent Jr., he went back to the Bucks for a little bit more than the vet minimum because they were able to afford 120% of his previous salary with the non-bird rights. So, some of the guys that, like you mentioned, that could potentially have had a more of an impact than who was there. Nothing against the Paynes and the Shamits, and maybe Shamit comes back, but they really needed some punch, some scoring punch off of the bench. And so being fortunate to get Jordan Clarkson from a buyout with the Jazz and then sign him to the vet minimum, I thought that was a good move by the Knicks. And then with Yabusele, a 40% three-point shooter, can do a little bit of everything, add some size, some versatility at the big. I thought they needed some more punch over Precious as well. And so they were able to use a little bit less than the taxpayer mid-level for Yabusele. Those are two good deals in my book.
I'm with you, man. Yeah, I think on the surface, if they had paid maybe what they paid Yabusele for Clarkson, would I have loved it as much? Maybe not, because Clarkson, yes, he is a scorer off the bench, but he's also been very streaky throughout his career. He is sneakily older than I think most people think. I think he's 32, 33. Again, as somebody that's 33, that ain't old, but we're talking in basketball terms here.
Right.
But to get him for the vet minimum, that's a home run. And then Yabusele, obviously he's, like you mentioned, the versatility that he can have in the front court. I think it gives you optionality if you wanted to start Mitch and Cat together. And you could filter one of them out and bring Yabusele in to kind of play a small ball 4, small ball 5 type role. His shooting, he hit the three ball at a good clip last year. I want to see another year of that to see if that really has turned a corner for him. But yeah, he plays hard. He can get his shot. He can defend. He's big, physical. So yeah, like we said, to be able to add 2 rotation guys, given their limitations, for a team that I think we all looked at and was like, this team needs a little bit more depth. They went out and did what they needed to do, given given the cards they were dealt.
Yeah, no question about it. And so later on in the offseason, the Knicks would announce Mike Brown as the head coach. Now, you didn't factor him into your overall evaluation, but what was your takeaways on Brown being named head coach?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was a interesting search that they did. If you're a glass half full guy, you're looking at it like they did their due diligence. They turned over every stone. If you're a glass half empty guy, it felt like this was a team that wasn't necessarily in unison in firing the previous head coach and maybe didn't expect to do a head coaching search. Well, we're gonna find out if it's worthwhile, right? Like Mike Brown, who we had his press conference. I got to spend a little time with him in Vegas in summer league, see him around. Great guy, obviously very accomplished. I think you see him interacting with the players throughout at summer league. He's very much starting to build those relationships. I think Kat was just on Melo's pod and said that they got dinner together for a few hours. Great guy. I know people who know him well. I'm in the process of getting to know him. Definitely does his due diligence. Very kind of, I think comes from a military background, and I think that shows in his coaching with how just much of a perfectionist he is, but he still has some personality to him. So we're going to see how it works, right? Like, I don't want to sit here and say they made the right hire, they made the wrong hire. We don't know until the balls are out there. And they have a high ceiling they have to hit, and he's walking in with more pressure than a lot of NBA head coaches walk into. So from a personality standpoint, yeah, I think he's a good coach. He's been accomplished. He's seen it all. He's won at a high level. He's lost at a bad level. He's been fired after one season. He's been at a program for multiple years. Like, he's seen it all. So I'm fascinated to see how this plays out, because they made it clear that if they were going to do something to bolster their chances of winning a championship, the easiest thing to do would be to fire the head coach. But they also didn't have to do that. I don't think anybody would have batted an eye if Tibbs came back for another year after the season that they just had. So they're really playing with fire here by making that decision. It has to go well. But I think in their minds they could, if it doesn't go well, which we'll find out if it does, I guess it's always easier to change the coach than change players.
Well, always easier to change the coach. The first domino that usually falls, especially when you make the investment that the Knicks made in their roster. But you are right. The bullseye is on Mike Brown. The pressure is on Mike Brown, replacing the coach that fell just 2 games short of the NBA Finals and who had accomplished as much as Tibbs did accomplish here with the Knicks. The bullseye also goes now on Leon Rose and West and that regime, because they're making that move and they're signaling that this is the guy that's going to help this team turn the corner. But you're right, we won't know whether or not this is a good move or a bad move until the scheme is implemented. We'll see what type of offense he plans to run there with them, how the players execute, how they buy in, and ultimately, whether they can get through and get to the playoffs healthy and ultimately get to the dance. But, in picking up Brown, number one, I do agree with them going with the veteran factor, because this is not for everybody. You've got to be built for this. And so the veteran factor and the experience factor was key here in this decision. But when you talk to people who know Mike Brown, like I talked to Mark Jones of ESPN, we talked to James Ham, Kings Insider, you see a lot of similar traits to Tibbs in terms of the attention to detail, hard worker in practice, going overtime in practice and making sure these guys get it. So maybe it was this decision where, hey, we need a new voice, but most importantly, we need a guy who's going to be able to work with us and the assistant coaches and kind of take this thing collaboratively versus what we had before.
I think that's 100% correct, and I know you've talked about it. I reported it. Like, collaboration was a big selling point for the franchise when they were looking for their new head coach. The one thing I'm really fascinated to watch unfold, aside from the basketball, is how Mike Brown carries himself as the face of the franchise. And what I mean by that is he's the spokesperson. We've said it a million times. Other people have said it. The front office doesn't speak. The owner doesn't speak. Mike Brown's going to speak multiple times a week. He has not shied away from calling players out in the past. That is one thing Tibbs famously does not do. You never heard Tibbs, very rarely, I should say, never say never, very rarely ever, when questions were asked about why a player did this or didn't do that, you rarely ever heard Tibbs throw a player under the bus.
Yeah.
I think the only time I can remember it this year was obviously the incident with Mikal, where he said he didn't tell him that, and that was just a whole different kind of situation, right? Mm-hmm. So that's going to be interesting to me. Does Mike Brown tone down his approach in that way? Obviously, if you're the head coach of the New York Knicks, you're almost like the spokesperson for MSG, the whole network, the whole conglomerate. You're the one that talks. You have to sell everything as peachy and rosy because there are investors. There's stuff like that. Like, you are the one speaking.
True.
And I'm very fascinated to see if he changes his tune in terms of just the realness he gives. I hope he doesn't, because I love that type. Like, as a reporter who's there every day, like, I want the realness. I want the say it how it is. But this is a different situation, and people that follow the Knicks know that these coaches tend to be a little bit more buttoned up once they get here. They don't want to say the wrong thing. They don't really throw players under the bus, or at least in Tibbs' case, he didn't. Mm-hmm. So I'm fascinated to see how he handles that, being the spokesperson for not just the franchise, but kind of the whole conglomerate there that James Dolan's running.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. The player relations aspect, whether it's on the court or through the media, how does he handle that? How did the players respond? Yes, we have a lot of guys who want to be coached hard, or the Brunsons, the Harts of the world, so on and so forth. But let's see how that dynamic is going to be very interesting to see, because, like you said, when you guys would ask Tibbs, well, what happened here, or what did you think about so and so? One of the most common reactions was, well, we were searching. Right? Like, he would always say that, but he wouldn't necessarily point that guy out and throw him under the bus.
He would start every press conference. We got good minutes from player 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Like, he made sure to let you know that, like, I'm not saying anything negative about anybody.
Yeah. For sure. And so, with that being said, staying on the Mike Brown topic, the assistant coaching search. Yesterday, Ian Begley and Stephen Bondi had reported that the Pacers assistant who the Knicks wanted to talk to, Mike Wienar, removed himself from consideration for the offensive coordinator role. Chris Gent remains a candidate. He's currently with the Charlotte Hornets. Have you done any background research on a guy like a Gent? What do you think about the assistant coaching process, namely for that offensive coordinator role?
Yeah, I think Chris Gent's the name I keep hearing the most coming up, and I think he has a relationship with Mike Brown. I believe they were together in Cleveland. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. He was the coach for the Charlotte Hornets as they won the Summer League. Again, that's just a nice little notch on the belt, not anything crazy, but he's been around the league for a long time. I was curious, and I was having this conversation with Fred when Mike Brown went to fill out his staff, right? Like, what kind of person would he go with? Would he go with somebody who's young and upcoming, somebody he's familiar with? And I was pretty confident he would go with somebody he had a pre-existing relationship with. And the reason I say that isn't necessarily just familiarity with how they're going to run things, excuse me, or how they're going to do X's and O's and type stuff like that. Also, just to kind of have somebody there that he knows and trusts, right? Like, he's inheriting 3 or 4 coaches that he didn't hire. They're coming from the previous regime. I don't know. Maybe he has relationships with all of them prior to this. I don't know that answer. But he is coming in to a situation where there are 3 or 4 assistant coaches that he did not get to pick. So bringing somebody that he's familiar with, somebody that he knows well, somebody he has a little bit more, he knows how they operate, I thought would be the way he would go. I think one thing people, if you're like frustrated or concerned about this process of assistant coaches, I think one thing I want to lay out is nobody got fired this summer. No head coaches, other than Tibbs, right? Everybody else was during the season, right? Memphis and Malone. So there was really there's not really the revolving door of assistant coaches available. Most of these guys, if they're with the staff, with the head coach, their contract's somewhat attached to that coach. So, and most teams, as we've learned with James Borrego throughout this process and others, most teams will not let coaches go for lateral moves. It would have to be an upgrade. So basically, if the Knicks are looking for a lead offensive assistant, which we'd assume is like second in command, it's very unlikely another team who has a number two would be able to get that job because it's not a upgrade. It's a lateral move. So basically, you're looking at the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or maybe even behind the bench person from another team to try to do that. Because if you're just looking at how other teams operate when it comes to trying to poach coaches from other teams, so I think that's why we're seeing a bit of. Those are the two reasons why we're seeing a little bit of a slow burn here. One, nobody got fired. Coaching staffs weren't really reshuffled this summer, and two, most cases teams won't let their coaches go unless it's an upgrade or a promotion, not a lateral move. So they're going to have to find somebody in which the situation would be a lateral move, or a upgrade, and I believe it would be for Chris Gent. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, you know what? That's a perspective that we really haven't heard amidst a lot of the scrutiny with this process. Like, they keep going to these teams and keep getting rejected. Why are they doing this? This is dysfunction, this, that, and the third. But you're right, man. There's not really a lot of guys who are available to be able to make these type of lateral moves. And, to your point, based on the guys that we spoke to, like a James Ham, who was with the Kings Insider, he talked about the fact that Brown's familiarity with his assistant coaches, the family style that he built, would lead you to believe that he wants to bring some of those guys that he's familiar with. But then Ham also said, hey, maybe the Knicks coaching search being so delayed kind of, they missed out on a guy like a Jay Triano because he went over to 100%. The Dallas Mavericks. So there's kind of a give and take there.
Yep. No, the timing of when the Knicks season ended, the timing of the fact that the other coaches that were fired this cycle were during the regular season, it really got the Knicks a late start on not just head coaching candidates, but also filling out the bench. And I think that's part of why you see so many guys returning from the previous regime, other than they do bring value. Like, I'm not saying that they don't, but I also think it's just hard to strip and clean a whole bench when nobody's really available. So, yeah, that's certainly something people should consider. Is if they're going to get a offensive coordinator or a number two next to Mike Brown, that job more than likely would have to be a promotion for that person, for the other team to let them take that.
They did bring in Brendan O'Connor, correct, from the Clippers for the defense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Any intel on him?
I've heard good things about him. I don't think I've ever met him. I don't know him too well, but he's worked with some people that I know, and they always say, I've heard, like, great mind, perfect for this situation, perfect for this role, very creative. So I'll dive into him a little bit more here in these next couple weeks. I think when he was hired, I was on vacation, so I was trying to not do too much work. But he certainly is somebody whose name I've heard before. People I know, I sent some people, and they say that was a great hire by the Knicks.
There you go, man. Once again, we're talking to James Edwards, a.k.a. Trilogy, Knicks Insider for The Athletic. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. I want to shout out my franchise channel members in here, heavy in the chat. Stevie Nicks, 180. Lawrence Peters, 181. Jamaica Queens, 22. Always in here. Who else we got in here? NY Giants fan, 84. Is that Junior Caroma? Junior, did you change your name up on us? Shout out to Stirred, Michael White. In the building. Salute to you guys. Will Latimer checking in. Shout out to Will Latimer as well. We are reviewing the Knicks off-season. James Edwards and The Athletic giving the Knicks a B+ grade so far this off-season. I agree, but we are going through each of these moves individually and reacting to it. So after the Brown move, we had Mikal Bridges, 4-year, $150 million extension. Your thoughts on the Bridges extension?
Yeah, it was always my feeling that after the Knicks traded all that stuff for him, that there was going to be a situation where they re-signed him. Yeah. It just wouldn't have looked well if that was the case. And obviously he struggled out of the gate in New York, but I thought as the season kind of went on, he was more consistent. He got more comfortable in his role. Didn't shoot the ball as well as he had in the past. Had games as a point of attack defender where he was awesome, some games where he wasn't. Had some big moments in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, the Knicks made these moves specifically for Mikal Bridges to help them be title contenders, and they were title contenders. They were one of the final 4 teams left, and he was a big reason of that. I think a game or two in Detroit, game or two in Boston. Mikal rose to the occasion several times throughout the postseason, even if he struggled in quarters 1, 2, or whatever. He came up clutch late. Now, was I 100% sure something would get done? I wasn't. Now, I think once they switched coaches, I felt a little bit better about that. I was curious if maybe he didn't enjoy the role that he was in last year. That is a lot. That takes a toll on a guy when he's covering the point of attack, when he's getting hit with as many screens as Mikal is. And then he's also playing in a market where they remind you of what you were traded for. They remind you of what they expect. And even though he was a number 3B, 3A option on this team, he was scrutinized like a number 1 option, right? Just because of what was given up for him. So that's a lot to deal with. And they got a deal done. I think more so than the fact that he signed for less than the max he could, which was 156. He did 150. I think it is interesting that they got the deal done before August 6th. And I wrote that in my mailbag yesterday. Once you sign an extension, you can't be traded for 6 months. Now, if you do 6 months from August 6th or before, or August 5th or before, or I guess August 6th counts, that takes you to the trade deadline. So Mikal Bridges is eligible to be traded in the middle of next, or by the trade deadline of next season, if the Knicks were to go that way. I don't think they trade him, but I also think that it's not a coincidence that it happened before then, so that they have flexibility in case something presents itself. So I think the timing of the deal, from just a shrewdness move in terms of just trying to give yourself as much flexibility as possible, was great. They did it before. Basically, if he would have signed after August 6th, he would have had a basically 1 year no trade clause. But they got it done before then, so there's some flexibility there in case something presents itself. They got him for under the max, which, I mean, even if it was just a little bit, helps it helps this team given their situation financially, and he's a good player. So I was curious how it would go as the summer played out. I thought it was interesting that it lingered for so long. But also they got a deal done, and he's a good player, and it makes sense for both sides.
Yeah, I'm with you there, and as you said, with the flexibility factor, that's the MO of this front office, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna trade him by the deadline, but hey, as you mentioned in your article, if a Giannis situation reaches the point of no return, you want to be able to be in the arena in the event you want to make a play there. So you just never know. But for me, man, this was a no-brainer. I didn't see this ending any other way but an extension for Mikal Bridges. They made that investment with the 5 picks, and while people wanted to say, hey, look, you can't believe in the sunken cost fallacy, I didn't see any better alternative in terms of giving up that salary slot, a player of his caliber who can play on both ends of the floor. And so for me, this is about, can this next coach maximize his role and help him reach another level with this team? I still believe in Mikal Bridges, and I think he can.
Yeah, I think one thing with Mike Brown that I noticed in looking at some King stuff, him and DeMar DeRozan were together for a short amount of time, but there were some sets there that I really liked where he got DeMar the ball in the mid-range, got him some good looks. Mikal obviously likes to live in that area. Obviously, very few, if any, people are as good of a mid-range shooter as DeMar DeRozan, but Mikal's a very damn good one. So I'm interested to see if they run a lot of actions for him to get him some mid-range shots instead of just off the dribble stuff, get him off screens and pin downs and things like that. Defensively, I'd be curious. I don't think they're going to use him as the de facto point of attack defender, like nonstop. I think they'll sprinkle it in. He'll probably be the primary one, but I don't think you'll see it like possession after possession after possession. But we'll see with that. But yeah, I think Mike Brown is going to be key in unlocking him. I do think they need to get one of those wings a little bit more involved in the offense, and whether that's OG or whether that's Mikal. I mean, preferably you'd want to get both involved, but I think one of them is going to be a beneficiary of a new coach, and they'll be utilized a little bit differently in terms of just getting maybe more stuff ran for them.
Yeah, and you spoke of the flexibility in terms of the timing of when it was signed. Our guy Yossi Gazin, who does great cap work, he comes on the show often to break down moves. In his latest newsletter, he actually broke down an interesting tidbit on the trade kicker that Mikal Bridges has. And from what Yoshi said is that he has a 5.69% trade bonus. He says, why is that oddly specific figure? Because it will allow him to recoup an additional $6.17 million withheld from his maximum amount. He says he signed the extension on August 1st, so he'll be trade eligible, as you said, on February 1st. Trade deadline is February 5th. He would receive the $6.7 million of his bonus spread over 4 seasons if traded at the trade deadline. It says this trade bonus would allow him to receive exactly the $6.17 million if traded during the season. He would receive a lesser amount if traded at any point after the 26-27 regular season. So as a tidbit.
So win-win for everybody, it sounds like.
Win-win for everybody. So there that is on the Mikal Bridges deal. But again, for me, this was a no-brainer. And let's see if he can take it up a notch in his second season. Because you're right, this wasn't an easy adjustment for him in the first year. Whether it was the role, the coach, the atmosphere. Hey, Mikal Bridges got put in the pressure cooker. But, I thought we saw some good things from him, especially when Brunson went out. And also in the playoffs in certain series. Now, the vet minimum contract.
Yeah.
The last one remaining. There's been talk about Ben Simmons. I don't like it. You don't like it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, like I understand. Listen, could the backcourt use size? Yes. Would a defensive lineup consisting of Mikal, Ben Simmons, and OG be nasty? Yes, it would be. And as I wrote in my piece the other day, what it comes down to me is I'm not tailor-making a lineup or an offense for a backup. Anything, to be honest with you. And that's the case with Ben Simmons. You would have to play him with 4 shooters at all times, which basically eliminates any lineup with him and Mitch, any lineup with him and Josh. And essentially, I just have a tough time, unless something's changed since we last seen him. Like, you got to be, not even just shooting. And I'm not talking about just jump shooting. I'm not talking about the jumper. He doesn't look at the rim, doesn't look to score. I think he's averaged 5 shot attempts a game his last 2 seasons, 3 seasons, something like that. It's just too much. In an offensive world, it's just, you got to give me a little bit more than that. And I just think that there are other options out there that I would rather roll the dice on, whether it be Malcolm Brogdon, whether it be Monte Morris. I feel pretty confident. This isn't me reporting. This is me just looking at the situation. I think that last spot is used for a point guard, whether it's DeLon Wright. That's just the one gaping hole on the roster. I think Deuce McBride is an off-ball guard.
Me too.
We've talked about that. He can play point. I'm not saying he can't. I just think the best way to utilize Deuce is off the ball. There's no point guard on the roster other than Jalen Brunson, who I think is ready to play in the type of. If this team didn't have championship expectations, right, go ahead, throw Kolek in and let's find out what he can do. But you can't really play around this season. And I think you have to get somebody who you can get 10 to 15 minutes a game out of, who has experience. And I just think you look at the roster, they just don't have a pure point guard outside of Jalen Brunson. And I think that's how they use it to address it. I think that's how they use the final roster spot to be able to address that hole, and get somebody in there who can alleviate some of the ball handling duties. And I just don't think it's going to be Ben Simmons. It could be. There's more factors that play into why a guy gets signed than just fit. You never know, the agency, whatever. You just never know, right? But I think that they should go get a point guard no matter who it is. I just don't think Ben Simmons is particularly the best fit for this roster.
Yeah, me neither. And you're right. There are other factors. That there are fans of his within the organization. But I'm with you, man. With an offensive-oriented league, you can't have too many non-factors with the offense. Hard is already a question mark depending on his confidence in his jumper and consistency in the jumper. You have Mitch. And then bringing in a guy like a Ben Simmons, I mean, look, as a profile, there is a case to be made that they need another ball handler. They need more defense, to me, at the wing position. I could always go with another wing type of defender and wing versatility. But for me, a Ben Simmons type of acquisition is more wishful thinking that you're gonna try to bring back the guy of old who can bring, find some magic with this team, and I just don't see it.
Reclamation project.
Yeah, reclamation project
this
again.
ain't that.
I don't think this is it. So for me, I'm with you, man. I'd love to see them target a Brogdon. I'm not so high on a Brody. Where's Brody going? Is he going to the Kings? What's up with Westbrook, man?
I'm fascinated to see where Westbrook goes because I don't want it to be a situation. I'm not the biggest I'm not the biggest fan of Russell Westbrook's game. I just prefer like the athletic guys. Like that's just not my bag. Like I'm Paul George. Those give me Brandon. Like I like Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Like give me, you know what I mean? Like everybody's saying gross, disgusting. Like, but those are the type of guys I like.
Yeah.
But I also don't want Russ to like not get signed. Like Russ deserves to go out how Russ wants to go out. Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys. So I hope he gets signed. But I agree, similar to Ben Simmons, that is not the fit. Doesn't make sense in New York. I would go like you mentioned, Malcolm Brogdon, Monte Morris. I'm not just saying this because we're both from Flint. He's a guy, low turnovers his whole career, good 3-point shooter, has had some injury stuff here and there, obviously on the smaller side, but he's a pro's pro. Kind of know what you're getting from him. But, yeah, I would just – even DeLon Wright, I would bring back – I would entertain DeLon Wright. Like, he showed more than enough in the playoffs. Like, there's options out there. I just think the juice isn't worth the squeeze with Ben Simmons and just all the actual the other outside attention that could come with it. And I'm not saying like in his personal life, but like you know more than me. Like if Ben Simmons is stinking it up in the garden, like that's going to be a conversation, an unnecessary conversation that's going to just be happening for weeks and months. Yeah,
I agree with you 100% there. I'm trying to think. Delon, I would definitely bring back. Do you think based on roster construction right now, is Shamet? I mean. I like them.
That's a great question. Yeah, I like them too. I just think that they're good. I just think unless Mike Brown thinks Deuce is a point guard, or
that'd be a disaster.
Or maybe he turns Josh Hart into the backup point guard.
Right.
I just think that this roster very clearly has one significant gaping hole in its back. Or maybe he's the part of they want to get Kolek. Find out what they have in Kolek. Like maybe they find out and they keep that open roster spot, give him Kolek a little bit of run early in the season, and then address it there. But yeah, I think as it pertains to Shamet, I think it's hard to see a world where they prioritize him over a point guard. Personally, I just think they're good on the wing. The Clarkson signing really, I think, kind of shut the door on that. But you never know. They like him, and rightfully so.
What's your guess on where they go on the 3 2-way contracts?
I think they go McCullough. I think that they go. DOR is the interesting one for me.
Yeah, I liked him.
He's so raw, but it's also like, what else are you gonna do with it? I don't know. Like, I think at least 2 of those you should use on guys that you, like, if something happens, you just get played with. Like, some guys you might be able to lean on in a pinch. So, whether that's McCullough, whether that's Marjon Beaucamp, who had an up and down summer league.
Yeah. He came on stronger later.
He did, yes. He came on stronger later.
Yeah.
But, like, that at least with him, like, he's played in the NBA. Like, if you need him for a game, like, you don't feel terrible about giving him rotation minutes. DOR is the interesting one to me. Like, is it better? Do they care enough in his development that they want to keep him around, or do they just send him overseas and figure it out? But I'm going to say I can give you 2. I think McCullough and Beaucamp, or somebody of like Beaucamp's ilk who's played in the NBA before, will get the 2 of the 3 spots. And then I think the 3rd spot they use on like a developmental guy, whether that's DOR or somebody else.
Yeah. What about Pate? I think Pate's a guy that's worth a look, man.
Yeah, I think that's a possible too. Like I could see if they send Diawara overseas, like use that kind of developmental spot on Pate. What's his first name again?
Dink
Pate. Dink Pate. Yeah. I get confused. I always want to say Pink Date, but it's Dink Pate. Yeah, like somebody like that, right? Like I thought he had some good flashes at summer league, right? Yeah. I do think it's important for a team like that, where you're so focused on winning at a high level, and you've given up your assets and kind of you're former first round picks that you had to go for it. Like, at least try to develop one or two guys on the side.
Yeah.
Just in case. And I think, somebody like that falls under that category.
Yeah, and they do have the rookie exception contract, right? I think it's like 1.7, 1.9, something like that they could give to a guy. So that'd be interesting to see, who gets that. But I'd like to see, I'd go Beauchamp, Pate, Diawara. Those three guys I'd like to see, and then you figure out who you're going to give the rookie one for you.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah, maybe that's where McCullough goes.
Yeah.
Into that exception, yeah.
Yeah, McCullough.
Or can they use him for that? I think they can.
It's been mixed insight from the cap guys and whether or not he can get that contract. I'm not so sure. I got to go back and do some research and get a definitive answer.
I'll send a text and get back to you after this.
Yeah, it's not clear, but if you do find out, put that out on Twitter so that we can have a definitive answer, because there's been some debate going back and forth about whether or not they can use it on McCullough. So, so that's interesting there. But overall, like you said, man, B+ offseason. We'll see where they go with the vet minimum contract. Anything else keeping you up as it relates to the Knicks, man?
A lot was keeping me up until Summer League.
Yeah.
I was just worried my phones and texts would go off in the middle of the night, and because I have bad flashbacks of when I moved here for this job. I think it was my second week here. In the middle of the night, the cat trade happened. It was the one night I went to bed early.
Oh, man.
So I woke up at like 2 a.m. with 90 missed calls and texts. And it was like, damn. And it was just like, that feeling was a feeling I hadn't felt in a while. I was in Detroit covering the Pistons for 7 years. Like, I news was coming through me then. Like, so you get in a new place, it was just a little bit different.
Yeah.
So a lot was keeping me up, just making sure I was on top of everything. Now, I'm just kind of ready to see what this team looks like, and not necessarily like, as much as I'm curious to see what they look like on the floor and how they play differently. I'm just curious to see like how this dynamic of this team is. Like, how does Brown mesh with these players who have become so accustomed to Tibbs and his style, both personally and professionally? Like, I'm just very curious to see does Brown change up his ways in terms of how he handles the media and talking about players because he's in New York now. Like, that stuff I'm very fascinated to see. But we still have it feels like the season's here, but it's still quite some time.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated. I don't think we're going to get a cat extension. I just don't think that makes, doesn't make much sense to me. If you're in New York, the guy still has 3 years left, I believe. He's 31, 32. I just don't see them committing themselves to that. The Mitch one will be interesting. I wrote about that in my mailbag. You can look at both sides of the fence and understand why something could or could not happen. So I'm fascinated to see there. My gut tells me that if Mitch were to take, I'm sure there's a number that the Knicks would offer Mitch, that they would feel comfortable offering Mitch an extension if he would take it. I'm sure Mitch would probably not like to take that number, is what I'll say. So we'll see what happens there. Wouldn't be surprised if he plays this year on an expiring deal. And it'd be a big year for him. So I'm fascinated to see.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, even though I'm all for bringing him back, because I just don't see any other options if he's not there in terms of helping this team get to where they need to go. To me, he just impacts the game too much for them. But I also see them potentially just playing it out and seeing, hey, if he's healthy, how he plays, how he fares this year. And in terms of what you said with Brown, I'm curious to see how he deploys the rotation.
Yep.
And how do they utilize Mitchell Robinson? Is he going to be off on the second night of back-to-backs? Is he going to be on a minutes kind of restriction and then ramp up later on, which I think he should? Yeah. Get Huck Porty in there, let him eat up some of those minutes.
Yeah.
Because
will he start?
Will he start?
I'm curious. I'm curious.
Yeah.
It'll be fascinating to see. Yeah, there's some questions that I'm not sure will get answered until like maybe the first week of the season. We'll see how Mike Brown plays his things close to the chest in preseason. I know they're going to Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
I don't think I'm going to that.
I was going to ask, are you going to go?
I don't really feel like flying like 37 hours. You know what I mean? That's a lot for preseason games.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think we're going to get like some world-class access. So I'm going to pass on that. But as soon as the season starts, I'm everywhere that the Knicks go. But yeah, 37-hour plane ride. I'm straight, man.
Yeah.
I'm that's too much.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
Whatever it is, 20 both ways, 18, but I don't know what
Yeah.
it is, but it's too much for me.
Yeah, I know that's tough, man. I'm kind of on the fence. I kind of want to go and check it out, man. I never
It'd be
been over there,
sick.
man. Yeah. I may pull up and do a live stream.
That'd be fire.
Yeah.
If you go, maybe I'll tell my bosses I want to go. Maybe let's see.
Okay.
We'll talk. Let me know if you go.
All right, sounds good, man. How else has the summer been treating you, man? Any vacations, any concerts, anything good?
Yeah, man, it's been awesome. I checked off a big box of mine. I got to see Wu-Tang in New York. Like that was crazy.
Yeah. I was still in Vegas, man. I wanted to go for that, man. I was still in Vegas.
Oh yeah. I had just left. I got back for that. I went to SummerSlam the other night.
Nice. I just caught up on some. I didn't watch night 1 yet. I watched night 2 last night. I thought it was good.
It was good. Yeah, I don't know if you need to watch night 1.
Okay.
Watch the women's match. Other than that, though, I think you'll be all right.
Okay. Yeah, I watched all of night 2. I thought it was very good. And in particular, I thought John Cena, Cody Rhodes, they must have really realized that their WrestleMania match was complete garbage because they went over the top for this one. I thought that was
the best I've ever seen Cena wrestle.
In years.
But like in a long time.
Yeah.
Cena I thought he wrestled better than Cody.
Yeah. I thought that was very good. I was very entertained with that one because the WrestleMania one was hot garbage.
It was terrible. That was terrible. I don't know what that was. He looked like an old man. That was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got to go. I went to my mom's is in Florida. I went to see her.
That's nice.
Saw my dad. Went to Michigan. I'm gonna go to Michigan one more time to go see family and friends, and then nothing crazy. How's your summer been?
It's been good, man. I mean, I got engaged, man. I got engaged.
Congratulations, man.
I got engaged in Croatia, man.
That's dope.
Yeah, man.
Any reason why Croatia? Or you guys just went on a trip there?
That's where my fiance's from. That's where the Knicks. That's where her family's from. It's my second year going to Croatia. I love that place. It's like Disney World for beach goers and island goers. There's no place like it. Yeah, there's no place like it, man. Just fresh sea bass, a lot of scotch, good times.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I'm gonna put that on the list. That's good to know.
I saw Shaq DJ one night. I was in Dubrovnik. Shaq pulled up.
That's dope. How'd he do?
You know what? I'm old, Trilogy, man. I'm 40. So and
he does like techno, right?
Yeah,
like
and that's not really my jam like that. Like every couple of joints, I'll fist pump here and there, whatever. But or
EDM, I should say, not techno. My apologies.
I got there a little too early, where I had to kind of sit through the opening act and wait for Shaq to get his act together. But once he got on, it was entertaining to see him control the crowd, move the crowd, and these young teeny boppers is in there going crazy for him. So it was interesting to see. I'll say
that's dope though. Yeah, I feel like the spectacle of seeing Shaq DJ would be I'm not really messing with the music, but to watch him DJ would probably be entertaining.
Yeah, it was very entertaining, man.
That's dope. Yeah, congratulations, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Of course.
Did you? I went to go see Nas in Vegas, the residency.
You went?
We went. It was.
I didn't go. Did you go? You did go?
It was great, man. It was great.
I thought about it. I've seen him before.
Yeah.
I did think about going, but I was like, man, it was so hot in Vegas. I was ready to go.
You were over it, man. Just
I was over it.
When you got in, what did we leave?
I'm over it, bro.
I did see him live at Radio City on New Year's with the symphony orchestra. That was beautiful. It was great.
So that's dope.
Yeah, so it was similar to that. A little too short. But I guess because he's doing a residency, he's doing 3 nights a week every weekend. He was kind of got to go through the program really quick.
Yeah.
So he went through Illmatic, and then he did rapid fire of some hits. So it was an hour and 15. But overall, I'm a live music fan too, so I liked how they incorporated the Las Vegas Philharmonic. So that was pretty good.
I actually got to see him do a few years ago. Actually, it was 2017, 18. The Athletic, they did some type of partnership when I was covering the Pistons with Nas, and he did at the Opera House. He did a show with the live orchestra. It was awesome. It was dope to see. It was very fire.
Yeah, I loved it. AZ came out, and that was cool. Yeah, AZ came out.
Wait, he came out the one in Vegas or the one
in Vegas?
Oh, did he?
He did. Yep. Steph, I don't know if you remember seeing the picture with Steph Bondi and when he pulled up to Vegas and he took the picture with AZ at the airport.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Steph took one and posted it?
Bondi posted it. He ran into AZ at the airport. So
I missed that. Okay, I'm going to have to go look for this.
Yeah. And I randomly went to the Backstreet Boys concert at the Sphere when I was in Vegas.
I heard that was fire, though.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's like going to Universal Studios, man. It's insane. It's an experience.
I thought about going, and like I'm not gonna sit here and act all tough and shit, but like
Yeah.
there's like if I hear bye,
Yeah,
like
they're
it's like
classics,
what's
man.
up? Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's some shit.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go this. I thought about it, but I was like, again, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
I was just kind of over it, man. It's so
Yeah.
hot.
It's hot, man. And because for me, I'm out there for the week. So I need like extracurriculars to get me through the week. And,
Bro.
thankfully my fiance is there. So we did like Top Golf one night, went to the concert one night. So we figured out
Good.
things to do to get by, man.
Love it. Yeah, I was out there. I think I did 5 days, but we have to get out there. The issue with me is I have to get out there 2 or 3 days before the Knicks play their first game because the Athletic, we do our like NBA writers meetings every year in
Okay.
Vegas at Summer League, and we do those 2 days before the first game. So that's why instead of doing a week, I'll do 5 days. It's a life. If you've never been to Vegas, I recommend going once.
Yeah.
And I recommend no more than 3 days. That's kind of the max for me personally. Maybe I'm soft and I'm getting
No.
old, but like 3 days feels like the max.
Let me tell you, that is like the standard number of
Yes.
days. The maximum for
perfect.
people. Everyone I talk to, whenever I go to Vegas every year, they're like, I can only do 3 days.
Yes,
I can only do 3 days.
make a list of what you want to do. You'll have enough stuff to keep you busy for those 3 days. Because once you stretch it to 4 or 5, it's like there's really nothing else to do except lay by the pool. It's too
Yeah.
hot. Like it's summer everywhere. You can go lay by the pool at home.
Yeah.
Go back to New York. Go back to wherever you're from. Like there's pools there too.
100%. 100%, man. So you just dropped the mailbag
Yeah.
article just yesterday. Anything else you working on that we can get the people excited for?
I got part 2 coming on Thursday morning. And then next week I do this thing every year where it's called a fan survey. So what it is, it's a poll. I have 10 questions. Basically, I'm letting fans voice their opinion on the state of the franchise. So there's questions in there like, did you like the Tibbs firing? Did you like the Mike Brown hiring? Where do the Knicks need to get in order for you to consider the season successful? So there's like 10 questions like that for the fans. That'll be out on Monday. They answer the poll. I'll have the results out on Thursday with kind of some comments and things like that. So, mailbag Thursday, part 2. And then the fan survey, if you want to take part in that, just check my Twitter, check the Athletic app on Monday morning.
All right, there we go, man. Well, great show, my guy. Enjoy
Appreciate
the rest
you, bro.
of the time off. Enjoy the vacation with the family. And I'll circle back, man. Closer to training camp, we'll do this again.
Anything for you, man. I appreciate you as always. Congratulations again. And, yeah, man. See you soon.
There we go, man. Appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our guy, Trilogy, a.k.a. James Edwards, Knicks Insider for The Athletic. Make sure you guys are following him on Twitter, at J.A. Edwards III on Twitter, man. Does great work for The Athletic. Very down-to-earth guy, as you can see, man. Great conversation as usual, and always like our flow and our banter. Salute to everybody in the chat. Feels good to be back, man. I had to, dust off the console here. I had to reconfigure the gauges, figure out what I was doing. I was a little disoriented. I started a little bit late. But salute to everybody in the chat, man. Oh, there we go, right back there. I had to, I got home. I was going for a little bit, man. I had to go home and throw some armor all on the Knicks Twitter Day trophy. So if anybody was wondering what happened to it, I didn't bring it to Croatia with me. I had enough stuff I had to carry, but I came home and it was safe and sound. So I just, threw some armor all on there and just it's good to see the championship trophy. All right. But salute. You know what, Alex the Great? You know what? People ask, is he the son of James Edwards from the Pistons? And let me ask Trilogy that right now. I forgot to ask him, and I'm going to ask him. Question from the chat. Are you the son of James Edwards, who played for the Pistons? People always ask that, and I forget to ask Trilogy that question. I should have asked him while he was live, but I just asked him on Twitter, so we'll see what he comes back with. Son from Brooklyn, how you feeling, man? I got your message. I'm glad you got your book. And shout out to Bobito and those guys for sending that over, man. Good to be back. Timothy Dantzler, I see you. Talento, always in here. Gamba, salute. How you feeling? Let's see what Trilogy says. He didn't get back to me yet. Okay. Who else we got? Father Peace in here. Will Latimer, salute to you. Aiden, what up? Okay, Stevie Nicks, Malik Shabazz, bless up. Junior Karoma, how you feeling, man? So, yeah, man, great to be back. Excited to be back. Listen, man, I was enjoying vacation a lot, man. Like I said, Croatia is a hell of a place. I had a great time. I told you I saw Shaq and everything. And man, just incredible food. Good times, excellent beaches everywhere. Got to the courts. You guys saw me at the basketball court. I did all of that. That's one of the things we like to do, man, is go to that basketball court out there in Dubrovnik and shoot hoops. So what we did was, and I'm wondering if it's still there, but what we did was I purchased a ball. Let me turn the volume down on this. I purchased a ball on Amazon before I went to the joint and before we went on the trip. And I left it there because there's no ball there. It's just an outdoor court that tourists will go to shoot around. But when we got to the court this time, all that was there was like a little like bootleg like volleyball, soccer ball type of thing. So I was like, let me bring my own ball. I brought a deflated ball, brought my pump, and right before we went to the court, pumped it up, went to the court, and I left the ball there. So I put a marker on the ball that said, hey, treat this ball well, keep it and pass it on. So that was it, man. I hope it's still there. I've been wondering since I left it, is the ball still there? Are people still hooping with the ball? I did write on the ball to tag me, that you're using the ball on the court. But this is the view from the court. Absolutely beautiful. Your boy was hooping out in King's Landing. Let me. I got another wallpaper up, whatever. Let me get that off real quick. Yeah, so I'm out there hooping in King's Landing, man. It was absolutely beautiful. Let me get that off. Okay, there we go. So you can see perfectly. Yeah, so we got that in. What else, man? Yeah, just a great vacation and a good time. Soldier Slim, how you feeling? Salute to you. Yeah, Daniel Bolster, look at all the members in the chat, man. Hey, man, salute to all the members in the chat. We appreciate all your support. And, the members are the diehards. We appreciate everybody for supporting the show. Obviously, membership, yes, you can always view for free, but to be a member signals that, you want to support us, and we appreciate that. You can also support us by sending a Cash App. We do have the Cash App there down below at KnicksFanTV, so you can do that as well. But we appreciate our franchise channel members for supporting us and rocking with us. And for the franchise channel members, you do get a lot of perks, such as, like my guy's son from Brooklyn, we do our trivia giveaways are exclusive for franchise channel members. That's one perk. Another perk, if you want to call us up in the KFTV Discord, look, when the season starts, especially with a season like this with a lot of expectations, there's going to be a lot of demand on postgame. A lot of people are going to want to call in with their takes. Franchise channel members get to skip the line, and we go to you first before we go to everybody else. So sometimes we might go through a whole show, and some people might not be able to get on because franchise channel members are going to get the priority. Okay, so that's another perk. We will also release exclusive episodes earlier for franchise channel members. Members also in the New York area or wherever you do have events will get preferred discounts on events and on merch as well. So those are some of the benefits of becoming a franchise channel member. Okay? All right. Anyway, man, I got a meeting coming up at 1 o'clock. I got to get some lunch, hit the gym. But it was great to be back, man. Great to be back with you guys on this Wednesday hump day. Hope you guys are enjoying your summer wherever you're at. Hope you guys are enjoying the work, the lunchtime grind. And we will be back most likely tomorrow. I think me and Alex will be back tomorrow. We'll chop it up on some more topics, but stay tuned. Any breaking news, any news on the vet minimums, any coaching news, you know where to find us, man. Number one show for the fans, by the fans. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. All right, you guys be blessed. I'll see you guys next time, tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow, man. Peace.